Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll be reviewing a 2023 Honda CT125 Hunter Cub. We are here in Japan by Hakone Pass. As you can see over here, it continues to climb on the mountain, and I took this opportunity to show you guys the 2023 Honda CT125, or as they call it here in Japan, the Hunter Cub. Hunter Cub is basically the model, which is more of a, I guess, like a off-roader. They have a lot of lineup of the CT125, for the city, for storage, for off-roading, and this is basically the off-road model. This one comes in a red color, but they can also come in different colors, like a dark gray or dark green, but I think the red color by far is, my favorite one. But one specification for the Hunter Cub that the others don't have is this exhaust over here that comes on top and right by the seat. Gives a good appearance on the overall shape and body of the bike. Over here we have the CT125 sticker. We have the rear brakes on the right hand side, and also a Kickstarter. So I think that's really cool. But it also comes with an electric starter, so you don't have to worry about that. It comes with rear seat packs, but this is a one seat specification because it has this luggage rack over here, which you can buy attachments and put just different stuff, like an actual rack, maybe like an extra fuel reserve tank. But those are customizable, so you can probably even look at offline. You can probably look even on the third market and see what other manufacturers besides Honda put as aftermarket accessories. I think that's really cool. On the rear over here we have LED taillight and also LED turning signals. And here we have the tire that's off-roadish kind of a tire. I haven't taken this off-road, but it looks pretty doable in this thing. Here we have the rear brake and suspension setup, which is actually pretty simple. And on the left hand side we have the chain and also a chain guard, because this is an off-road model. We have the toolkit, which is kind of cool and neat. We have the breather box over there, and also that keyhole opens the seat, which you'll find gas fill up. On the left hand side, this is actually pretty cool. This is a semi-automatic bike, which means that it's manual, but it doesn't have a clutch lever, so you only shift the gears up and down. And it has two shift levers. As you can see, they're connected, so one goes down, and then so you can upshift with this and downshift with this, but you can also do it either way. You can pull this up like a regular bike and down, but obviously with your back heel you can only put this up. So I don't know, really strange design. I don't really use this much. This one on the back side, I only use the front one, just pull it up or down. But that's one thing to know, which I found really weird. We have some overall protection over here, as you can see, this bar, and this also comes on the other side. We have a back cover metal plate, which protects from hitting rocks or anything like that. And also we have suspension boots, which protect from just dirt, grime, and rocks or whatnot. So I think that's really neat. Anything else to mention? Let's talk about the engine. So the engine is a 125cc single cylinder, single overhead cam, and it is fuel injected, so it's not carbureted, which is awesome. Which you can see the fuel injection system right over here actually. So that's really great. You don't have to worry about in the winter, trying to start it up and fixing the carb and all that stuff. So that's awesome. This bike has 4 gears and it does about 60-65 miles an hour. I wouldn't say this is a highway bike because, you know, it's a single cylinder, 125cc. But, you know, in the city streets and, you know, like small, you know, roads, this is a perfect bike to take out because it has the power to do so. But in the highway, not so much. Over here on the front of the bike, we have a bike protector fender, front fender, in the red and white color, which looks really nice. We have the tires, as I said before, off-roadish tires, and the brake system over here, which is a double piston, single caliper, and yeah, single rotor actually. It doesn't have a rotor on the other side, but it's just a small bike, so does it really need it? Over here on the front we have the turn signals right by the handlebars, which is kind of cool actually. I thought, you know, you would think they would be like right here, but they're not. And the headlight, which is really cool on this one, it's LED and it also has rings over here, so when you turn it on it has this yellow effect. Take a look at it. That is really cool. I love that actually. And in the night the lights are great. Let's look here in the back, and this is the LED tail light, so that's really cool. Over here on the handlebars we have high beam, low beam, the horn, and also the turn signals. It's a simple handlebar system which you can, you know, swap out or with any aftermarket pieces. We have the phone mount here, and also the start stop, and also the starting button. But as I said, it doesn't have a clutch lever, so you only shift and that's about it. It has a front brake lever and also the rear brake lever on the other side. For the digital cluster, it has this small, you know, digital cluster, kind of offset a little bit to the right side, not quite in the middle. And this bike also has ABS, which is kind of surprising since, you know, this is a small bike, so you would think they wouldn't come with ABS, but this one does. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, because if it's an off-road bike, I don't know if you wanted ABS on an off-road bike, but this one has it. As you see here, we have the indicator for the high beams, low beams, turn signals, check engine light, and also the neutral gear. And over here on the display we have the fuel level on the top, which I'm kind of empty, the speedometer in the middle, and also the mileage. There's not much customization on the cluster, and I think this is one of the negative points here on the CT125, is that it doesn't show RPM gauge, and also it just, I don't know, it's just too basic for me. It's really small and basic. I would have wished it was something a little bit bigger per se, or, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be digital. It could have been something, you know, like an old school type of speedometer, but I guess this one does the job. And here we have the basic mirrors. So let's start the bike up. There we go, we have started the bike up. As I said, the exhaust is on the right hand side, and this one actually stays you know, fairly cool. It's a little bit hot, but you know, you won't burn yourself with your leg or anything like that. They put this entire coverage over here to make sure that it doesn't, you know, burn your leg or anything like that. So I think that's neat, and you know, something that you don't really have to worry about it. Let's check the sound of the bike. This is when it's idling, and let's give it some gas. It's not bad actually. I mean, it's not like super loud, but you know, it's kind of good sounding-ish. But you know, it's what to be expected for this bike. I don't know if there's any other aftermarket options, but you know, a single cylinder engine, you know, don't expect much sound out of it, but this one actually sounds pretty nice for a small bike. Now let's get into the driving section. Okay guys, so for this portion I'm doing a voiceover. As I was saying before, we are in Mount Hakone. Basically we are climbing the mountain now, and you know, I would say that the bike has you know, good power low down, but you know, just because it's a 125cc engine, don't expect much power out of it, and you know, the first gear is short, so you can use it for off-roading or you know, anything like that. But as you go to the second gear, third gear, and you know, fourth gear, you're left to wonder if there is a fifth gear. Every time I was going above like 50 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour, I was pushing up on the shifter and realizing, oh, that's all it got. It doesn't have a fifth gear to go smoother, but it's not that bad actually. So in this clip I tried to climb the mountain, and it's not bad at all. We are doing about 60-65 kilometers an hour, which is kind of like 40 miles an hour, so it's not bad at all. But it doesn't have much power. You know, people are gonna pass you from behind like they did in some of the other clips that I recorded. But the bike actually holds up pretty well. It doesn't bother me that it's a small engine. You know, it climbed the mountain pretty easily. It wasn't really difficult. I usually stayed in third gear or on those hard sections that were very steep. You know, I went to second gear and the bike handled it just fine. Obviously, because it is a small bike, it's really lightweight, so you know, you can throw it around, but it doesn't have a visor just because, you know, it's a naked bike and it's supposed to be like that. There's a little bit of wind noise and just wind in general because you're going unprotected, but because you're not going fast like, you know, sports bikes and stuff like that, it doesn't really bother me that much. One thing that I was complaining when I was reviewing this bike was the digital cluster, and I would say it's a little bit hard to look at it just because it's so low. As you can see on the handlebars, it's really low, and you see it a little high. I'm 5'10", so you know, I look way ahead of the road, and I need to look down to look at the speedometer. And when it's bright and sunny day, it's kind of difficult to look at it because the speedometer is a dark blue color from the start, so that doesn't help it much when you want to look at your speed in the daytime. But nighttime is fine, and I wanted to have an RPM gauge just because it is a small bike and you want to be mindful of your RPM so you don't over rev the engine, and also a gear indicator would be nice since people who buy this are brand new riders basically. But yeah, this was a review of the Honda CT125 Cub Hunter, and I hope you guys liked this video, and tell me what's your opinion on the Honda Cub. I really like this bike. It's really neat in the city and you can take it off-road, and it's a great overall bike, and it's pretty cheap. However, in the US they're kind of rare because everybody wants them and dealers are marking up the prices. Hopefully that goes down. Hopefully that goes down soon. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.